first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks for joining us. I wanted to show you this here right out of the gate. That is a video from Tualatin Valley Fire Rescue of a Christmas tree going up in flames. You can see on that timer how fast that is happening. And that's something that we're going to be talking about here during this segment. Again, thank you for joining us. We are live here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, as we are each weekday, starting at 1 p.m. right after our new news. And we've got lots for you here this afternoon. If you're watching on our website, on our apps, or on YouTube, thanks for doing so. So yeah, that whole video is about 60 seconds. I'll run it here coming up during this segment. But we wanted to talk about just important things you should know as we're all getting ready here for the holidays, or a lot of people are if you're bringing a tree into your home, what you should be doing to stay safe. And to do so, joining us right now from Tualatin Valley Fire Rescue, we have Stefan Myers here. And thank you very much for having time to be here with us. It is pretty shocking how fast that went up in flames.
Absolutely. I think people don't understand how quickly fire grows. Fire grows at a rate of basically it doubles every minute. So it can quickly get away from you if it was to ignite.
Yeah, and taking a look at that is a pretty good example. So let me ask you just really quick about the production of that. So setting this up, I mean, I know this is in a safe area when you were doing this, but I mean, was this like the first take? It just went up like that?
Yeah, so we hosted this out at our training center, and the first take, it went up. And so we thought the visual of that demonstration was going to be much more impactful than the tips or things that we can write down. Because again, people kind of underestimate just how quickly fire could grow in a situation within your home.
Yeah, I mean, and you can see right there, you can just picture this being in somebody's living room and having that happen. For people out there, you know, to prevent something like that happening, what are some really good safety tips that they should be thinking about as they bring a tree into the home?
Yeah, and regarding the demonstration, we had dried that tree out, right? And so my tips are really around how to make sure your tree doesn't get that dry to become problematic. So the first part is when you get it home, cutting off that base up 2 inches from the bottom. That helps the water draw into the tree better. And then making sure that it's consistently watered. So if you have a watering stand, making sure every day that that's filled up. Because once it gets down to a certain level, it's going to seal up again and stop sucking in all that moisture that it needs.
Yeah, so really keeping track of that. Now, say somebody's bringing a tree in now, or they've already got one in there, and we're talking about lasting for 30 days. Is that going to, I mean, just from your standpoint, I'll ask it from you, as by that 30 days, no matter how much you water it, are there some things they should be aware of, I guess?
Yeah, you know, especially as you get along, it's about ignition, right? What are some possible sources? So making sure it's away at least 3 feet from any heat sources, not by the fireplace, not by a home heater or any devices that you might be using or baseboard. And then thinking about all the decorations that you have on there. If you have lights, making sure that they're UL certified lights, so they're not going to have any wiring issues or can potentially cause a spark.
So watching out for all of that, really important. What are some of the most common mistakes that people make when it comes to the Christmas tree?
Yeah, I think the biggest one, obviously, is just maintenance and keeping it water and saturated. I'd say the second one is disposal. And that comes with choosing to support one of your local service clubs and getting it out of your home after you've celebrated the holidays. Definitely don't, and we actually have seen this on a call, somebody trying to cut up their Christmas tree and put it in their fireplace. There's so much sap and things that come off of that that don't burn like logs that are kiln dry, that it can absolutely cause a chimney fire or a larger issue.
Yeah, all those pine needles floating up in there, that seems like a bad idea. So don't burn it in the fireplace. And say somebody is at home and, you know, an accident occurs and a tree does start to burn, maybe not quite as much as this one. I mean, but though that certainly could happen. Once that starts, what's the first thing that somebody should do in this situation?
Well, the first thing is get out of the home, right? It's time to get out because if it's at this point, a fire extinguisher isn't going to take care of that. The second one is call 911. So get us en route so that we can help mitigate the fire and hopefully keep it small and contained to the room that it's in. But you got to get out as quickly as possible. We see a lot of injuries from people that try to engage, try to put it out when it's already grown to a size that a fire extinguisher could handle.
On average, do you have a lot of calls about these during this season?
Specific to Christmas trees, it varies each season. So hopefully the information we're giving out today will keep this as a low season for these types of calls. But these are the kind when they become problematic, they become very problematic. And so that's why we think it's important for people to be aware.
Anything else that you think we should let people know about?
No, it just, we want people to be safe. Also considering, even if you have an artificial tree, making sure it's fire resistant. That can be an important thing to be aware of. And then especially around this time of year, whether it's Christmas tree or other holiday celebrations, being aware of candles. Whether it's by a tree or whether it's just in an area that needs to be contained. That's really important because we do see fires that can start from that.
All right, so all good tips and tricks for people to stay safe and don't end up having your tree do that or anything else. Well, Stefan, thank you very much for joining us. Really appreciate your time and getting this message out there, and it's important for everybody, and the video is fascinating, I will say.
Yeah, thank you, Greg.
All right, and for everybody watching, we are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see this video end. Feel free to share it. If you're watching on our website and apps, that's a great way to do it. And we will have plenty more for you here coming up. We're going to talk about FIFA coming to the Northwest and really some things that you should know about that, and plenty more here throughout the afternoon. But we will take a break for right now. I'll be right back. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.